Hello, good afternoon. I'm Judith Mok. I'm of Dutch origin, but I think I'd like to call myself an Irish poet now. Thank you so much, Tina Kane, Poet Laureate of Rhode Island, to invite me to read here. I would like to read some new work from my 5th collection called Playgrounds, which is coming out in 2021. I would like to start with a poem called Today, after Leo Tolstoy. At the end of his life, Tolstoy apparently said that the most important thing in life was love. Today. Within the mystery of dawn, a field feeds me a thought, to name all of them in different languages when they move, drenched in dew. Marcassin, javali, wild boars, everzwijn, shifting as a pack swiftly to the wisps of scent from apple to nut tree. It could be somehow a choreography. What a fool I have been till today not to see, not to hear what there was to be. In the land of the troubadour, I write a landscape in the morning. Up the mountain dogs follow me where I follow ancient footprints. I know the alphabet, but they know it all. These dogs, soft snouts, loud talk, barks. And back I go to a village where cats bask in my warm shadow to purr. What a fool I have been till today not to see, not to hear what there was to be had. In the afternoon we speak, other to others, while we work to harvest. The earth hums along, fat on its offerings, chestnuts, grapes, olives, quinces stain our hands. Much more is waiting in these woods. Mushrooms spread on the trees that stand to grow on for centuries. People come together, a basket full of pickings on their arm. The early autumn darkness blotting out their whispers. Nothing but a smothered gasp when a white deer struts by, making for history. During breaks, we eat the homemade cakes sitting on the fairy ground. The dream of ferns and poisonous snakes, the myth of the mind takes shape. An eagle waits for me, for no one, at his regular spot. He rises up and suddenly there are 3. When I look up, they form a pattern I can't decipher. They honor my eyes. What a fool I have been till today, not to be able to read what was written, to spell reality. At night, I spy on the dark. When lightning hits, I see some natural time. The speed of the bat is the speed of the falling stars caught in the claws of our artificial wishes. Not like the owl who claws its prey in mid-air, displaying its own blitzkrieg. What a human fool I have been, not to be able, but for today, to feel love. I'd like to dedicate this poem to Cleolani Riordan, my friend who lives in Paris. My mother died. We opened the windows to let her time freeze up in the cold air. Listening to Brahms' Requiem, I sang along that all flesh is ash, ash in her coffin. Inadequate machinery took it rattling down. We heard a hollow sound in our silence, driving through the polder. The firmament had landed on the ground, its stars frozen in the snow-covered fields, to enter a box of concrete where we stood waiting for her flesh to turn to ash. A child voiced our last question. Where had grandmother gone? Then I stopped asking mother questions. I crossed the Andes and saw condors spread my screen. Sat Shiva for you, mother, on a pier in Chile, feeding the pelicans fish and the Pacific with the pages of my unread book. Days of travel on a small bus, listening to Mara Forth in my earphones. With that bus attendant, her wave of shining long hair like a perpetual dark flag in front of my dead eyes. People handed me back my forgotten wallet with a smile at the exotic market where I had gone to call mother, because I was so far away from home I couldn't remember that her voice on the line was dumb with ash. I told her all the same how I spotted a puma catching up with the speed of my life that had been hers, mother's, and how I loved being her child. This is a poem after François Villon, a ballad by François Villon. Je meurs de soif auprès de la fontaine. I die of thirst near the fountain. With years and centuries of songs gone by, I sit courting beside the fountain once again, and hear the water spat the sounds of that unbearable happiness I once longed to discover in my thirsty mind. I wanted you, back then, to be the bard for me, with all the sparks and light your gods attached to your strings, to now feel nothing but the weight of my dry mourning, like water. I needed you like water. This is a poem about one of my favorite poets, Russian poets, Osip Mandelstam, who unfortunately was arrested and died in a Siberian work camp. To Siberia. In the train, my memories are written on glass. Maybe my head will never touch a cool window again, or my eyes see a landscape as it was, painted over the blank one rushing by me. How fast white goes, how still snow stays. To tap on the birches would cause the silver to sing in their leaves, parents and sisters playing ball with the soft hands of youth, mother making up ghosts while hanging out the sheets, with late spring blossoms raining down on us, and hundreds of stars stuck to our evening skies. We'd outrun the sea on long yellow Yurmala beach. At the grand wooden hall, a glittering crowd in their concert afterglow. Earlier on, we had spied on the music, our skinny legs shaking when we got caught. "What is your name?" said the man in tails. "Osip. My name is Osip Mandelstam, I remember I said, when he pulled my ears." This is a short prose poem I wrote after I had sort of a vision sitting on a beach in Africa. Black Aphrodite. What pulls the women down? A small beach where the sand has been blanched to reflect in the most blatant of sunshine. Blank mirror. Then another still mirror stretches the surface of the sea. When they step into it, it will break into warm salt ripples quietly. A band on the toes, a bracelet around the ankles, a sparkle on the fingers, a bangle, many, on the wrists, and the throat lets its chains drip down to cover their naked, heavy breasts. This place is for females only. I have found my motionless place among them, seated in the sand, wrapped in striped silk. Head to foot, the white outsider, the voyeur. When their covers have been dropped and left to stain the pureness of the ground as somber witnesses, they are naked. They turn their backs on me, who sees a stammer in art history as they wade into the sea. African naiades, Venus and her girls, voluptuous flesh weighed down in gold. Slowly the water takes them, drowns their gold, crowns their glistening hair as they go under. This is a poem dedicated to my pupil, singer-songwriter Dermot Kennedy, and it was written when he did a television show in New York called Good Morning America, and he had done a Berlin concert the night before, and it was very, very early in the morning. Coffee Walk for Dermot Kennedy. It took one song to make us long for it, one song that would rise with the steam of New York streets and wake us earlier than the first surviving bird could sing, its rhythm defined not by us but by them, workers, hands-on to clear the morning into a day's life. We greeted them silently, eyes still closed on last night's music dream, clinging on to this past gig as a gifted memory. We walked in search of some hot brew, loose shadows in our glamour gear, shoes smoothing out the brown in the marble of the underground shopping temple. We followed a promise of this televised show where morning time would be consumed as a thrill for millions of sleepy ears. But our bodies felt out of tune with the upcoming music, so we went for coffee. And the last poem, Joy. Ah! My dog is barking. Shh. Come on. Joy to be one with the proverb, the best of religions, the only and all of beliefs, superstition. When I'm allowed to watch them build their nest, 2 magpies, 3 years a happy couple, or at least a concept of that in tail and feathers, black and white. My hands are still cold, my windows wet with rain, spring twigs are being added to their home, and a new family is being willed. 3 years of storms and snow have raged through their deep nest. Each year it sways empty, each year it grows taller when it houses new eggs. A skyscraper now, one that holds on to a small miracle. two magpies fly. Joy. Thank you.